Coming into the big swamp. Let's see. Got a little later start than I wanted to this morning. I've been dealing with a landowner in the USDA office. Just making sure that the property was all signed up for the bounty program for this season. And today I'll be setting for bounty. Not much, but hey, it pays for the gas. Got a tote full of beaver traps and anchors, drivers and hammers and lure, and boy, having some fun. This is my favorite place. It's a couple hundred acres back in here. It's gonna be right on a county line. This side of the river is one county, and back in here on the landowner's property is another county. So to play fair and play right, I'm coming in on the landowner's property, on the county, on the property that he's got signed up for the bounty program. So I'll get that set out today, see what we can do. Getting to where I'm gonna put in set number one. I found these little through ditches, and I know from the past that I've come in here, went up this little ditch, and it leads to a dam. But I know they're going to be using this ditch as a travel through, so I've built this castor mound right here, small castor mound, and to catch everything's attention coming up and down the river, coming up and down this little through, and this little I can just call them throughs because it goes through this little stretch of woods going to a beaver dam. And got plenty of crawl outs. I'm gonna put this set right here. I've already pulled some mud up here to make a castor mound. See where it's cloudy, where I've already pulled the mud. I'll put this stick for blocking. I am going to anchor and bed the trap right here. Put some castor lure on it. It should make a catch. These little corners going in and out of these beaver ditches are deadly set locations. I'll get this one set and keep moving, but every beaver, every otter, everything coming up and down through this main creek thoroughfare here, coming in and out of these ditches into these beaver ponds in the woods, will catch a scent of what I'm putting out. So I'll finish this set and keep moving down. Hopefully the silt to clear out and you can see what I've done. Right here's the little castor mound I have put my Alpha Delta castor lure on. I do have a TS-85 bedded right there. Just a little bit offset. I have put this stick in for guiding, and anything coming around this point is going to run high and tight right up next to this coming in and out of this river, and they'll get a whiff of that castor lure right there. Hopefully they'll step in that TS-85, be out here in deeper water on the grounder cable. So set number one, we'll get moving down. I'm coming in just on this landowner's property. Just got in off the main creek, coming back into the swamp. Found this nice looking fresh mound. Right here, you can see all the light colored sand, no silt. This is the beaver's approach coming in here to doctor up his castor mound. I'm going to dig a bed right there and top off his mound with some stuff he's not familiar with. Put in my castor scent in here. And the reason why I doctor up the mounds that are already here is because you already know this is their travel pattern. It's like hunting deer. You go where the trails are. You go where you know they're already traveling. They get it's like putting active scrape scent in another buck's territory. You're going to get a response. So that's my theory and my method to madness on why I do set up existing caster mounds. But I'll get this set put in. We'll take a look at it. Well, I have heaped up some of this little bit of mud and vegetation I pulled off the bottom where I have dug that bed for the trap right there. Leaving this stick in for fencing, leaving this vegetation in for fencing, pulled the mud out of here where he was already entering this area. I have castered the new addition to the caster mound to give it a foreign scent. Got my cable anchored off. Fixing to bed the trap in it and run the cable out into deeper water. This should produce. It's a very active location. So I'll get this set finished and keep moving. I just watched a beaver swim across this little channel and went straight to this lodge. I'm going to set the caster mounds around it. It has some basically overnight success. I'm going to put some caster in these beavers' noses and they're going to put some foot in the traps. I can say this is a pretty good sized stick lodge right there. I just watched him swim across. But I've already seen 4 lodges. Like I say, this is probably the satellite 2-year-olds to a bigger lodge across from me. We'll get to looking at it as I put in sets. See, I've got that stick lodge right around this little point. Now the banks right here are not real conducive because it's like 18 inches deep right off the brush. I found some of this, I think the Cajuns would call it floton. It's not solid ground and you would punch through it pretty easy if you try to step out on it. Been there, done that. That's how I know. But I've punched through it with the cable anchor. And I've got a little crawl through right here. And I've put my caster, like a mixture between caster and water, like a trailing scent, right across this little crossover right here, coming in and out between this part of the swamp back in there and the creek. And I know I've got the stick lodge right here that I just watched a beaver swim across the channel. Once it gets a whiff of this, it'll be on. But I'm going to bed that trap right here in this little depressed area and pull the stake out in deep water and hopefully have a catch here tomorrow. You just got to love a place like this. It's just snakes back through all these little ditches and cuts and floating grass mats, lily pads. It's as far as you want to go in just about any direction. This is what you're going to run into. But I'll keep moving. I'm choosing this next set location. I mean, I do have a lot of fresh chews up in here. I do have a crossover right here coming out of that swamp back in there. I've got caster mounds, sitting locations, what I call it. They climb up and sit. But this is a caster mound. But the water, like I say, if I had some of them, Death Dealer stands or whatever, this would be perfect because the water's just not the depth I'm looking for. But this crossover location right here is. I am going to doctor it up with some caster scent, bed that trap in there. And it'll be a multi-species, multi-type set. It's going to be a crossover. It's going to be caster scented. Next to the caster mounds. Something's going to happen here. Don't know what. Probably be a nutria, but can't never tell. Just try it. Right there's the trap bedded. Right on that crossover. You got the caster mounds, sitting spots. And I am going to take some of the diluted castor scent and creek water and pour across this crossover to get the scent of the beaver in here. And I'm gonna pull this out and deep water anchor it off. Just getting down to this set of mounds. I mean, oh my goodness, where do you start? I know I am gonna put in at least 2 sets here. Everything's fresh, active mudding going on daily. I have seen a beaver swim across the creek to this lodge right there, coming from this location. I'm going to scoop out right here between these 2 mounds and make my own mound, and I'm going to go over here and make my own mound. And hopefully if I catch one, he'll slip off out in deep water and not disturb the other one, and then I can pick up a double on this one set of mounds. But there's a mound, there's a mound, there's a mound, there's a mound. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. That's my kind of sign. I see that and I'm like, yeah, we got to set this. I'll get it put in, we'll take a look at it. Already getting the anchor put in. That's the Hammer Trapline Products heat-treated wolf fang driver. I'm staking this one up as far as I can get it to go out this side, and I'm going to bed the trap right here on this mound I'm going to create. And I'm going to do the same thing over here and stake this trap off over here. Try to give me about 4.5 feet between the 2 sets to hopefully not rope-a-dope in both of them. But I'm digging this kind of sign. I'll get the sets completed and we'll take a look at it. I have that set pulled all the way over here on a cable. Right there's my anchor. Out in deep water, that's a 5-foot long pole. That's submerged. We'll go up here on this one and come out this way and hope for a double. Now I have done this. Anchored it up over here going that way. Now I've done this on this end of the mounds. Got it anchored up over here. And I'm going to run out this way. Try to separate the 2 ends in case in the moment of chaos family members are in here. I can pick off 2 of them. But this mound is surely worthy of 2 sets. I'll get it anchored off and keep going. Right there's the double set I've put in over there. I just come around this corner and found this thing. Now I'm going to pull some vegetation and mud up here and top it off, because I know I've got a stick lodge here. I've got a stick lodge there, stick lodge behind me, a stick lodge down below this about 200 yards. There's 4 or 5 stick lodges in this little area. This is an extended family colony of all the older 2-year-olds, just haven't gone very far. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I'm going to put another set in right here. I'm setting everything I can find, set heavy, just smash and dash. Have everything cleaned out of here in 3 days. Just never know what you're gonna find. I found this goofy looking ball floating out here. Have no idea what that is. It's got goofy little antennas on it, a little face on it. See some of the weirdest stuff. This dry rod had been out here a while, or I'd take it home and see what it was. Gotta love it when you find them like this. It's probably 6-7 foot tall and probably 20 feet wide at the base. It goes from way over here to way over there, and way taller than I can reach from out of the canoe. So it's probably 6-7 foot tall at the top. Fresh mudding all over everything. I'm gonna put in a couple sets around this this lodge. But there's like 6 lodges right here in a half mile. And it's too deep to just get out and wait around and find, you know, the entrances, because I got a kayak paddle and I'm not touching the bottom out in the deeper water. So I'm gonna pick them off up here on the trails. Take a look at it in a minute. Well, I have put a No BS Beaver Extreme right there. Well, they're already coming up here mudding. And I can't really get in here, and the bottom's like soup. And I'm gonna move around this fortress they've got and see where else I can make them and put in some castor mounds. And once they come out and stick their head up and smell for strange castor, they're gonna be investigating. Try not to beat around on this house too much, you know, no more than I have to, because I was going to put them on high alert anyway. But I'll get this one pulled out in deep water, anchored off. I'm going to wind up getting me some of them stands. You just stick the stand in the bank, and the frame of your trap sits into the stand, because this is way deeper than I want to try to sit a trap. I mean, it's right off the bank. It's 14, 15 inches deep. And I got a trail coming out right there next to a castor mount. So that's where I would normally try to sit. It's got 2 things going for it. At the bottom is just not conducive to putting in a sit. I will keep moving. Good thing around here is you don't have to go very far and you find another location to set up. Got all these little trees that are cut off. A lot of vegetation going up through this beaver ditch. I have a castor mound, you know, kind of territorial marker going on here. And I do have perfect depth for a trap. I have taken and fenced this off to put an animal's curiosity and approach right where I need it to be. I will get this set put in, get it castored, and keep moving. But everything about this location, from the little trees nipped off everywhere to the castor mound, yeah, this is going to be good. Something's going to happen here. I'll get this set put in and finished and keep going. Coming up on this little bitty baby nutria. Little bitty baby. He don't know which way to go. He wasn't much bigger than a field rat. He's swimming right through there on the bottom. But Mama run off and left the whole, right there he is. Mama run off and left the whole litter sitting on the bush. Just a little baby nutria. He's going out through the lily pads. See the stems moving. But it was cool. He wasn't much bigger than a field rat. To think they grow into something that's 20 pounds. He had a long way to go to get there. What I have got is a huge mound. I mean, there's the paddle sitting up on it, running down into the boat. It's not touching the gunnel on this side. I do have where they're crawling out right here. I will put a set there. And right across from me is a crossover with a castor mound. And the crossover has no leaves on it. The leaves have been falling. For there to be no leaves on that crossover has to be a lot of traffic on it. But we'll get these 2 sets in. I'll start with the crossover and come back and get this one on the way out. Well, you think that crossover gets used? It's still wet. And there is not a leaf on that crossover. With all the leaves that have been falling, there is nothing, no leaves. Still wet from critters going across it lately. Going over into another section of swamp, going right across that crossover right there. A trap will have to go there. That's all there is to it. I'll get one set here, and we'll go over here and set this cast around up. But yeah, if I makes me wish I'd have brought some snares too, because I'd stack them up here on this trail or this crossover. Get that put in. Got that huge mound right there set, pulled out here on the cable. Get it away from the mound out in about 3.5 feet of water. Whew, still had to leave me a ditch to get through in the boat, but these look good. Something's gonna happen here tonight. That is a big old mound. We'll keep moving. I'm getting back closer to the boat ramp, and I've saved a few of these for I was going to set on the way out. But there's the caster mount, taller than the boat, and I got the kayak paddle leaned down into the boat. It's about 8 or 9 inches taller than the boat sides of the boat right now, and I'm going to get this one set. Get it anchored. Another TS-85 right here. I can tell where they're climbing out to get here. I have put a little bit of the Alpha Delta caster lure right here and wet it in. I've got another little mound right here beside it. I'm not going to do anything to. The most of the activity seems to be on the bigger mound. We'll get it set. I'm going to move down and look at this area as a potential for the next one. Like I say, I set their mounds to get a territorial response, and it's going to get a territorial response right now. I don't have to wait on them because they're it's a challenger in their territory. I'll get this pulled up deep water and anchored off. I'm just down to the next super fresh, super sized caster mount. It's another, I don't know, 12, 18 inches tall, probably 2 foot wide at the base caster mount, and it's got some huge tracks on it. I have scooped out a bed right here to put the trap. I'm taking some of my caster lure, poured on it, and I'm bedding TS-85 right in front of it. I mean, the other set that I just put in's 25 yards away, and hopefully when these beaver move through, I'll be able to catch one. Then the family group comes through, I'll catch 1 or 2 or more. Just trying to get rid of some of these. The duck hunting club up here is wanting some of them thinned out. That's what I come to do. I'll finish this set and keep moving.